Life is a constant struggle of not knowing what to do.
I dreamed last night. It was raining. It was really coming down hard. I was just there in the rain, just me. But it wasn't raining outside. It was inside. It was just me and the rain in this small, squarish room. And as I sat there in the rain, I couldn't see. Well, okay, I could see, but my eyes were shut. The room was too bright for me to open them. It was bright like the sun, but cold like space. And because my eyes were shut, all I could make out was a black, white, and pink haze. And as I sat there, hunched over myself, I could make out a ringing. It was faint at first. It was so quiet, I didn't even know if it was there. But as the minutes passed, it got louder, and it was all I could focus on. It was overwhelming. It was everything. It became so strong that I forgot about the light, the rain, my thoughts even. It had me tuning to its frequency. I was gone. No longer trapped in the room with the rain. I was sound. Going through nothingness toward I don't know what. I didn't care. Sound doesn't care where it goes or who hears it. It just is. I woke up. Should I be one with sound?
We aren't what we want. Inherent or aesthetic. We change what we can.
All right, that last one was Richard with Phallus Fallacy. Next up to the stage, we have a newcomer, Depressed. Let's give it up for Depressed.
Emotionally stunted. Recently, you had a show come and go, the fruition of many months of work. I know at times the process made you low, but I hope you see you grew as a perk. We talked on the phone and through Snap and text. I listened to you vent about it all. You wanted to move on to what is next, and yet, when it came, you gave me a call. If you're free, it's this weekend. Will you watch? You asked, eagerly waiting what I'd say. And wait you would, responseless, like a chotch. Please forgive me. I'm sorry, okay? Okay it is. For this was all a waste. I told you this was stupid in your face.
Life is a constant struggle between wanting to feel good and wanting others to feel good.
How do you capture euphoria? How do you capture contentment? How do you capture that bubbling that starts in your stomach and chest and expands through your limbs, exploding out your fingertips and toes until you are one with the universe, and the universe is one with you, expanding until you are the moment, living ever present only because you are connected with the racing past, always behind, always new. Is there a net or jar large enough to contain a bug as explosive as a bolt of lightning and as elusive as a speck in the grass? Can a flame so bright and contagious, yet so easily snuffed, be omnipresent? Humanity's Olympic torch of connection and self-worth, eternally glorified in a spire that warms all from Boston to Belize. And what if the cold is warmed to extinction? No longer is the heat on the back of your neck a gift. The shiver of pleasure rippling through your body is a fable, a thing of fiction, a thing of myth. Joy is nice. Joy again. To know it, impossible. To feel it. Undeniable.
Summer set on us, and all our shenanigans. Fret not. We'll have more, my friend.
Duplicity dances on the tongue. Tumbling, turning, trotting, ducking, diving, diverting. Nimble as a Russian ballerina. Powerful as an Irishman mid-clog. Clothed in clammy hands. They're strong and firm. Lifting the sick. Brandishing a knife on the feeble. Lying through teeth like a snake with crossed fingers. As common as a mallard. The Nigerian prince. A pomade slicked lawyer. A big wig CEO. A creative accountant. A vegetable hiding parent. Bringing out the best by acting on the worst. Survival.
Life is a constant struggle of being berated by the world and trying to convince yourself it's not that bad.
They don't make sense together, all except that they exist in tandem. Why is it so random?
Death is no stranger here. Death is like a good friend that we invite off the streets and into our hearts. It transforms us. So often, I stand before you and we rejoice in the death of our father, revel in its glories, not out of hedonistic pleasures from below, but because from it we know that we are safe. We can fall, and we know that our Father is right there beside us to pull us back out, just as he did his own Son.
Even when unobserved or thought about, we go on existing. What a tragedy!
Salty brine. Wind whipped and unforgiving, spares none in its breaking crest.
Today, let's join hands and celebrate.
Today, let's remember those that have and continue to be oppressed.
Today, let's recognize how far we've come and how far we still have to go.
And tomorrow,
And forever after.
Let's continue the fight.
together. Now, if you listen closely, I'll tell you what I know. Storm clouds are gathering, the wind is gonna blow. The race of man is suffering, and I can hear the moan. 'Cause nobody, but nobody, can make it out here alone. Alone, all alone. Nobody, but nobody, can make it out here alone.
Life is a constant struggle between wanting entertainment and wanting to entertain.
All right.
Okay, I'm ready.
This is it.
Sorry, this is the one.
Okay. A 5, 6, 5, 6, 7.
I ran away so I didn't have to watch you go. Cutting us short to the only way to stay afloat. In the life of an action, this was simply something I tried. Close the door myself, turn and run away and hide. It may seem dumb, but that's nothing new. When I'm running from me, I'm running from you. Long nights alone, pebbles bouncing off my brain. I check my phone for sympathies, my pain. Messages unsent, things held in words unheard. A jellyfish existence living with no spinal nerve. Scared of codependency, when I'm running from you, I'm running from me. Why do I do this to myself? Ignoring what I feel deep inside. How long can I spiral down before I go splat? All because my stupid pride. Falling fast asleep Don't wake me up in the morning. I let you go, time for you to do the same. Probably already have, but it felt like something I should say. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. You brought out the best in me. Goodbye to us, I'm setting you free.
A bench on display. Not to sit, but to behold. Queer utility.
Nestled far below the earth, where the atmosphere is sulfur and the season perpetual summer, lives a rose. This rose sits perched on an isle of ash, looking out onto a sea of bitter ruby lava. For as long as it can remember, this is all there is. A long time ago, like everything, this rose was but a cell, and it knew nothing of the venomous heat of the far below. It knew nothing at all. It was white, a blank canvas. But when the rose that was but a cell ceased to be so, and expanded into a seed, it was quickly plucked from its native land and plunged deep into the ground, far below the atmosphere, crust, and mantle, taking up residence among the heat. The roots it planted here were shallow, but far-spreading. The ashen compost of the island providing just enough nourishment for the rose to sprout, but never bloom. After some time, in the extreme conditions of the land of red, the rose began changing. Its leaves became red and its bud black. While survival certainly played a role in its adaptation, as with most things, comfort was the driving force. The land of heat loved Rose's changes, showering them with praises and compliments in regard to their new beauty. "We're so proud of you and what you've become," sang the violet sea. Life, with arms of red and a center of black, allowed Rose to pass through life less bothered. Rose lived this way a long time. Eventually, they even convinced themselves that they belonged, convinced themselves that as they withered and died, this was as good as it got. But I wasn't. Not even close. One day, on the surface, no different than the last, Rose noticed something they had never noticed before. A hole. Up above, amidst the craggy sky, there was a hole, and from this hole cascaded streams of foreign light, translucent beams of oxygen. This light was far different than that of their scarlet friend. This light was cool. It didn't heat your outsides with blistering intensity. It warmed your insides. Something awoke in Rose from this kiss of life, causing them to shed their coat of red and black, letting every inch of their body feel this newfound glow, causing Rose to grow. Wanting more of this light, sweet nectar, needing more, Rose pulled their roots beneath them and pushed against the sediment that had once enshrined them, shooting them upward. Like the masthead of a ship, their bud cut through the air as they climbed higher and higher. Rose quickly reached the hole. As they entered the mantle, they found there was much more to the physical beyond soot, ash, and red. They discovered rock. But they didn't stop there. They had to know what else existed beyond their cave. Up to this point, the lake of lava had simply watched as the rose had strangely tore away from its island and lifted into the sky. But as the rose entered the mantle, the lake became enraged. The red liquid began to bubble as their hurt intensified, soon turning into a rolling boil, their hot juices splashing everywhere as they grew furiousome. Eventually, the lava exploded, and a long, thin red hand stretched upward out of the lake and after the rose. The hand made short work at catching up to the rose, which at this point had entered the crust and neared the surface. As Rose had risen, the pure light had intensified, and so too had their need to be in the land from whence they came, but never knew. Rose could now see the end of the tunnel. The light was overpowering and the oxygen intoxicating. They were so close to freedom, yet could feel the spiteful heat right behind them, ready to throw them back into a life of suppression. Higher and higher they both climbed until Rose reached the precipice. With one last attempt, the lava flailed its gangly arm upward and shut their wispy claws around the bud, catching Rose by the neck. With the rose in hand, the lava fell downward, descending into the blackness below and turning their palm from the land of light. But as it fell downward, the heat of their hatred and love that seethed through their fingers freed the bud of its stem, leaves, and roots. So as they fell, Rose rose up and out. Out into a world where it could plant new roots, deep roots that would support them as they grew and bloomed. From then on, Rose was free to be nourished by the blissful light of truth. And as Rose grew and bloomed, their petals shined brightly as the sun, reflecting in them a beautiful rainbow.
Life is a constant struggle between vanity and vanity suppression.
Your skin doesn't fit. Reflection unsatisfies. Just another day. The monster that lives in my reflection. The reality I want to deny. Obscene dreams are these gross predilections. If I turn, so does it in reaction. I can't shake it no matter what I try. The monster that lives in my reflection. When I close my eyes and dream with passion, reality is something I defy. Obscene dreams are these gross predilections. Fearing inevitable collision, I hide them away from those that might pry. The monster that lives in my reflection. I want a brain not plagued by division, one that can find contentment in a lie. Obscene dreams are these gross predilections. It's too far gone for any correction. I'll be at odds till the day that I die. The monster that lives in my reflection. Obscene dreams are these gross predilections.
A new day is here. Quiet now, anxiety. At least till tomorrow.
Life is a constant struggle